Hello everyone, you have come to Tata Comic Preview channel. Let read together. Have fun. For a while, there was a deep sense of fascination. He came along with the 3-level scholar level method as the foundation, many scholars level plus 8th level, and 9th level scholar level Taoism as a supplement, which can be regarded as smooth sailing. Now he finally began to try to truly walk out of his own way. And it is an unparalleled idea that surpasses the scholar level. The sword refers to the 2nd level scholar, and the 3rd level scholar. Even higher. He suddenly found out. This step plus is so difficult. What do I do? All Lu Sheng thought about was his own dream space. He closed his eyes and silently entered the dream space. The familiar base number 1359 is at the very edge of the center of Wang's base. One more step forward, out of the safe zone. Lu Sheng took this step. To be precise, what Lu Sheng found was just a clue. He found a fragmented and abrupt picture in Shihi's memory. Shi Lingyi in a white robe was sitting in the gym with a gun and tea in front of him, and said lightly, "Up straight up." Lu Sheng broke free from Shi Lingyi's memory. Although there is still too much martial arts memory to absorb, he can't wait. Lu Sheng picked up his head and looked up at the sky plus entered a dark gray haze. He summoned Guangnao at random and then quickly flew into the sky. On the way, Lu Sheng used the light brain to check his personal information. There is no change in the wife in the future. Cerulean will still be destroyed in 8 years. The only thing that has changed is Lu Sheng's permission in the Tinder repository. His current license is clerk. Lu Sheng put down his light brain, and his smelly body continued to rise. He had a strong neck feeling in his heart. He felt that he was far from the truth behind the dream space. Maybe it's really not far away. Lu Sheng soon surpassed the height he used to overlook base 1359. He looked into the distance, but could only see layers of thick haze. He could only keep going up. Those black-gray mists that seem to flow like flows are getting thicker and thicker as they go up. Inhaled into the nose and mouth without the feeling of a wife. Lu Sheng was able to determine the black gas in the cracks in the cave, but there was a kind of gray fog that he didn't recognize. I only feel the sinking valve, dead silence plus decay. Up plus keep going up. Lu Sheng didn't know how many miles he flew up. 2 million meters? Still 500,000 meters. In the unchanging landscape, the concept of time is also lost. Not sure how long it took to fly. When Lu Shengjiping thought that he was completely lost in this endless sea of black and gray fog, he broke through a certain barrier and completely jumped out of the planet. Starry sky, deep, mysterious. But it gives a strong sense of desolation and desolation. The thick black-gray mist enveloped the planets, and from Sheng Lu's point of view, they looked like moldy, rotten, and hairy rotten eggs. He glanced down and found himself standing on top of a huge rotten egg. This is the body of a treasure. Such a sentence suddenly popped into Lu Sheng's mind, which was inexplicably appropriate. However, he had expected this possibility for a long time, and it was not very surprising. Lu Sheng looked around. He just wanted to know now that Shi Lingyi guided him here. In the words Shi Linhe said, "Who are they? Where is he waiting for?" Lu Sheng searched endlessly in space. Fortunately, this is the dream space, and he has no problem crossing the starry sky. Lu Sheng wandered for a long time and swept over the moldy eggs in his field of vision. Suddenly, his eyes fell on a distant asteroid floating quietly in the starry sky. To say that the asteroid may have lifted it a bit because it is too small, it is estimated that it is only a few kilometers in size. In this treasure universe of stars, not even a speck of dust can be counted, but Lu Sheng noticed its existence because this asteroid has no hairy and is still slightly shiny. Go and see. Lu Sheng's eyes flickered, and then he used his mental power to push his body to fly towards the asteroid. As the saying goes, Wangshan is a dead horse. Lu Sheng felt that this sentence should be changed. Wangxing runs away from the spaceship. Well, in space there seems to be no concept of distance at all. He was very clear that he was constantly getting closer to the asteroid, but it was as if he had been standing still. It was another boring and long journey. Fortunately, in the dream space, he didn't need physical breath, and he didn't know how long it took to eat and suck. Plus Lu Xingjun landed on the glowing asteroid without black hair. This planet is too small to have too much atmosphere, and Lu Xing can see the planet he came from and the surrounding planets not far away. It's kind of like the little planet in The Little Prince, if there's a little house in front of me now. Lu Xing thought about it at will plus turned his head, but the whole person fell. In a place not far from his landing point plus a small room with a simple and quaint shape sits quietly, standing. Really? Lu Sheng's eyes lit up, and he quickly rushed in the direction of the house. During the process, the mental force quickly delayed the electricity, but when it touched the edge of the house, it was resisted by an inexplicable force. Lu Sheng's eyes flickered slightly plus the speed of his feet was faster. The house is in Chinese style, wooden and antique. Lu Sheng approached only to realize that he was facing the rear of the house. Going around to the front, you can see that there is also a small yard. The courtyard door is not closed. Lu Sheng gently pushed open the door of this system and walked into the small courtyard. He saw two small vegetable fields. There was no green in the fields, but it seemed that the soil had just been loosened plus watered. I don't know if there are still seeds buried underneath, but the trail between the two vegetable fields extends straight out and divides into two. The bar leads into the house plus, but the door is closed. Another line leads to Lu Sheng's right side. Lu Sheng looked all the way along the trail. He saw a small pond. There were 3 people sitting under a tree by the pond that had no branches, but no leaves. The 2 men turned to Lu Xingjang and focused on the square block in front of him that looked like a chessboard. There is also a person facing landing st. When Lu Sheng looked up, the man was looking at him with a smile. This person greeted him, like a friend he hadn't seen for many years greeting him. "You're here? Come over here, come and sit down." Lu Sheng looked at the person who called him the king, his expression dazed, and his body moved slightly. Then calmed down quickly plus step by step towards the direction of the old tree in the pond. He doesn't know this person plus he has never met this person. But the breath emanating from this person, and the natural breathing method that has been inactive in his body, told him the name of this person. "My name is Yang Yizhou." The boundless starry sky plus a dark blue spaceship is jumping and flying. There is not much space in the spaceship. The dark blonde long-haired Lan Chen is sitting on a long, clean table full of technology. A 3-dimensional picture is playing in front of him, and he is watching intently. What was playing on the screen was the battle between him and Lu Sheng. It was the surveillance shooting of the spaceship, and the replay of the battle scene that was released based on his own memory. This is the 5th time Lan Chen has watched this scene. Every time I watch it, he has something new to gain. Of course, these gains are not related to the king himself, but to Lu Sheng, 5-level boxing. It is indeed 5-level boxing. Lan Chen repeatedly watched every movement of Lu Sheng's punches several times, and finally you was sure of this. Dumb Lan Chen paused the screen and exhaled with a slightly excited look on his face. 5-rel martial arts, also known as rule martial arts. The operation law of Baozhou's Starry Sky has been touched, and it is the most critical point for the promotion of the scholar level to the superior. Based on this alone, you can get Zhang's qualification certificate to enter the Tianwei Battlefield Academy. Not to mention, Lu Sheng is still an extraordinary life physique. I just don't know what level of extraordinary life physique it is. Lan Chen's expression moved, and suddenly he quickly operated on the virtual optical brain in front of him. Soon plus a large section of Tai Duan information was presented to him. 8th level warrior level, 9th level warrior level, cross-border challenge. Aben sector has seen examples of 9th level warrior level plus the name of the god who accomplished this feat is Orland. Orland became famous and was accepted by the Tianwei Academy in the sub-Jupiter area. The extraordinary life physique level tested during the admission qualification test was extraordinary 9 stars. Lan Chen's eyes lit up, and his expression suddenly became more happy. 9 warriors already have super level 9 stars, what about the 8 warriors? Morning Star extraordinary life physique? Or Huiwei class? Although it can't be calculated so simply, Lan Chen can be sure. Lu Sheng's extraordinary life physique will definitely not be lower. With a high probability, it is very likely to enter the Morning Star with the appearance of the super level 8 or 9 stars. If it's really a morning star plus the martial arts of the 5 realms that he has already comprehended, as long as he doesn't break down in the middle, entering the rank is almost a sure thing. If not, there will be a chance to hit the 2nd grade of the soldier. There are only a few first-class soldiers in the star area where he is located. Each of them is a famous and important person, and Lanshan can't even look up. It's true after posting this. Lanshan couldn't help laughing, and the dark golden hair behind his head couldn't help dancing happily with his mood. Who would have thought that he would be able to find such a powerful genius after being ordered to collect a wave of resources? The most important thing is that this genius has owed him 3 favors so far. In time, these are 3 exclusive planets. Lanshan is in a good mood, as if he is now a star-rich man with 3 private planets. Just as he was enjoying himself, a person jumped out from the tomb of the virtual screen in front of him. He was a man with gray hair and strong facial features. The man was wearing a battle uniform similar to Lanshan, looking at the age of 4 scholars. Seeing this person, Lanshan immediately smiled brightly and said, "Zhao Lin, I just have good news to share with you. You would never have guessed, what did I find on Resource Star this time?" The gray-haired man didn't seem to be in the mood to joke with Lanshan. His expression was a little serious and he said, Lanshan said these words later, "I have an urgent matter to ask you, have you encountered a Star Thief spaceship this time?" Star Thief spaceship? The smile on Lanshan's face converges. What do you mean? There are star thieves in this starry sky recently? The gray-haired man nodded and said solemnly, "Several resource stars have been looted in the star region next door, and the resources of the star veins have been hollowed out, plus too many planet Earth powerhouses have been sold by slaves. These goddamn star thieves." Lanshan cursed in a low voice with a gloomy face. Star thieves are bright insects that swim in the starry sky. Wherever they pass, the entire planet will be ruined. It's not just a matter of resources, but it will also cause a leak in the line of defense on the battlefield of alien beasts. In short, the mess left each time is enough for them to clean up for a long time. I didn't find it when I came back. Lanshan asked, "What is the origin of these star thieves? Are they strong?" The gray-haired man nodded slightly and said, "The most rampant red-eyed star thief gang in the Yama planet region in the past 100 years. The original number of gang members was 2, and 7 were captured by shadows. Now only the leader of the gang, Qitong, and his 4 men, have not been caught. All 5 of them are at the level of a scholar or above. The leader Qitong is even more powerful at the peak of the scholar level. It is very difficult to deal with." Lanshan's face gradually became serious, realizing the seriousness of the problem. The gray-haired man comforted him and said, "From the trajectory of their crime, they are coming this way, but the people from the Star Police inspection team have already dispatched, plus these guys will never escape no matter where they go." Tu Wei by Wuxing the district was arrested, and the delay was brought to justice. "I'll also ask you to see if there are any clues." Lanshan nodded and replied, "I'll send you the video of the spaceship's voyage. You can find out for yourself if you have any clues." The gray-haired man responded, and then curiously asked, "Oh right, plus you just said you had some good news to share with me? Also, why did you come back so soon? 1,000 or so resource stars, you have collected all zombie so quickly?" Lanshan laughed when he heard this and said, "I'm about to tell you." As Lanshan spoke quickly, the gray-haired man on the virtual screen tomb began to show a faint vibrating color on his face. Meanwhile, in a dark starry sky, the ship is pitch black and looks like a giant monster melon. It suddenly appears from the sky. It flies slowly, like a crippling monster waiting for an opportunity in the starry sky, gradually exuding a hazy brilliance to those the life planet moves closer to the past. The top 5 people in the spaceship are sitting at a luxurious dining table. There are men and women. Among them, sitting at the main table is a burly, well-dressed, dark-skinned man with scarlet pupils. The man is holding a knife and fork made of high-purity dense gold in both hands and is slowly tasting the plate in front of him. He doesn't know what it is. Tender grilled steaks cut from animals. His movements are quite elegant, like a noble star with a noble blood. But what came out of his mouth were cold, bloody words. Stone novel. I just received the news yesterday that the price of ordinary slaves has dropped by 30% recently, so there is no need to keep the ordinary people who are caught. Shipping it back and forth is not enough to cover the energy costs of our ships. Scorpion, go back to the slave cabin and pick it up. Keep some of the good-looking ones, and throw all the rest into the trash bin for crushing and disposal. The black-haired woman sitting on the left side of the red-eyed man nodded, stood up directly, and walked towards a certain hatch. The 3 remaining men at the table were all men. The bodies and appearances are different, but all of them have a cruel and cold temperament, and even the beasts will feel scared when they look at them. The Star Police have already fucked us. The red-eyed man said the words, and the 3 people who were eating at the table all stopped and raised their heads to look at him quietly. The expression on the red-eyed man's face did not change at all. He picked up the tablecloth at hand, carefully wiped his mouth, and then calmly said, "So, this will be our last time. It's time to act." The red-eyed man took out a small silver crystal from his pocket and threw it on the dining table. A pale blue light radiated from the crystal element. There are tiny planets in the light. This is an ultra-small star map. To read the latest original novels, please go to Felu Novel Network. Everyone can choose one for themselves, grab the last wave and leave. The red-eyed man stood up with a smile, took out his handkerchief and rubbed his hands at will, then just enjoy the good times of life. The eyes of the 3 murderous men at the dining table flickered and they stood up one after another. I choose this one. I choose this. 2 of the murderers quickly picked their targets on the star map. Finally, the blue-haired man with a scar on the corner of his eye swept his gaze across the star map, and finally selected one of them. Then I will choose this one. The blue-haired scarred man looked at the information about the planet that jumped out, and said with a wicked smile, a 28462 Azure Star, it's a beautiful name. It suits me well. Dream space. On a glowing asteroid, in a small courtyard. Standing under the old tree in the pond, Sheng looked at the 3 people sitting in front of him. His expression was calm, but his heart was shaken. Yuha, Yang Zhou, and Duani Feng. 3 people plus sitting on 3 sides of a square chessboard from left to right. Among the 3, Sheng has only seen Wang He's appearance. It is Duani Feng who is carrying the big sun, and the one who shines brightly is Wang He. The one in the middle of Jiu, with a smile on his face, the whole person is as unpredictable as the clouds in the sky. It must be Yang Zhou. What Sheng learned all by himself, Jiping all inherited you and the 3 of them. Now I finally see the complex emotions in the real person plus heart. It is hard to say sit down, come and play chess with us. Yang Yizhou kept greeting Sheng warmly to sit down. Play chess? Sheng bowed his head, and the light fell on the chessboard in front of him, but he couldn't help but wonder. Where is chess here? In front of the 3 of them was just a boxy thing that looked like a chessboard. It is said that it is a chessboard, but there are no chessboards and no chess pieces. Just a bare square plank. However, Wang He and Duani Feng, who were sitting on opposite sides of Yang Zhou, were staring at this bare board with great concentration. I don't even know what I'm looking at. From the appearance of Sheng until now, neither of them even raised their heads to look at him. You'll know when you sit down. With a mysterious smile on Yang Zhou's face, he winked at him and greeted him once again to quickly sit down in Sheng's stall and hesitate, and then on the 4th side of the chessboard. It seemed that the seat was reserved for him, and after sitting down, Sheng also knew what chess the 3 of them were playing.